to the viewers of our channel. This time we will talk about the 2022 LG TVs, and we will start as always with more premium TVs and smoothly move on to the most budget options. On the slides you will not see some information such as connectors, the processor on the TV. I will write it all down in detail in the chart, which I will attach after this video. And the first TV is called LG LED Z2. This year's flagship is manufactured in 77-88 diagonal, 77 diagonal with legs on the sides, 88 diagonal with a stand in the kit on which it is installed. Matrix OLED 120Hz 10-bit glossy display coating, display resolution 8K OLED backlight, Dolby Atmos sound 4.2 system, 88 diagonal 80 watts, 77 diagonal 60 watts. As for gaming and video capabilities, I will write everything and, upon completion, I will show you an extended plate with characteristics. Move on. The next TV is called LG OLED G2, manufactured in 55, 65, 77, 83 and 97 diagonals. OLED matrix 120Hz 10-bit, glossy display coating, 4K display resolution, HDR brightness 929 candela, SDR brightness 474 candela, OLED backlight, Dolby Atmos sound, 4.2 system 60 watt. Again, I will indicate the power consumption and also the source where I have found an information. So, what are the updates between the G2 and G1 models? They made a new OLED panel. It was an EVA panel, but they improved it. They raised the brightness by 20%. It's cool. They also made TVs twice as light. For example, last year's LG 55C1 weighs the same as this year's 65C2. The same story with G1 and G2 TVs is very interesting, but they achieved this through the use of new materials. TVs were already light at the beginning, but they became even more lighter. Therefore, on the one hand, it seemed that the TV should be heavy. If it is heavy, then there is something good in it and it is of a high quality. But on the other hand, it seems that time is changing and now TVs are not only high quality but also light. So here is the overall. G2 is very good in HDR and SDR. If we compare it with a competitor from the same Sony A80K, for example, which I will talk about in the next video, then the G2 is better against the background of this Sony. The G2 also received new heat dissipation radiators and support for Wi-Fi 6, and it also has Bluetooth version 5.2 on board. This is one of such innovations. Briefly about the main thing. The next model is called LG OLED C2, manufactured in 42, 48, 55, 65, 77 and 83 diagonals. Matrix OLED 120Hz 10-bit glossy display coating, display resolution 4K, brightness of HDR 842 candela, brightness of SDR 422 candela. I remind you that these are indicators of the brightness of the real thing, so that there are no questions later. OLED backlight, Dolby Atmos sound 2.2 system 40 watts. At 42 diagonals, the system is 2.0 and 20 watts. There is no subwoofer at 42 diagonals. What do we have in the LG C2 model? Look, it's the same story here. They are also twice as light as the LG OLED 42 C2 and 48 C2, have the same brightness as last year's C1 models. For the most part, if you want to buy 48 C1 or 48 C2, it makes no sense for you to overpay for 48 C2. And the 42 diagonal has legs on the sides, since it's meant to be a monitor, so you have room for a keyboard and anything else. You will have legs on the sides. In all other diagonals, the leg goes in the center, and in the 83rd and 48th diagonals it is long, the same as it was on the C1 model, and starting from 55 to 77 it can be said to be 2.5 times smaller and narrower. There are still nuances in the country of the manufacturer, in numbers, in letters. I will try to explain all of this for you and paint it so that it's super clear to you. Well, remember once and for all, the most important thing is the first digit after the letter C. Pretty much any letter, it doesn't matter, B, A, C2, then it will be 22, 24, 25, 26, and this is all indicates the sales region. This is the color. There are also options for letter markings. I will try to describe to you as much as possible, but to be honest, they did this year, if I counted correctly, as many as 28 TV models. This is not counting the variety of markings. 28 models. That's madness. Why? Why so many? Absolutely unclear. There is also a new dark room mode that gives you two dimming modes so your eyes don't get tired if you're gaming or watching a movie in a dark room. But because of this, image accuracy can really suffer, so this is something that in theory you can try, but still not necessarily applicable in life. What has changed compared to the C1 model? Look, the brightness has slightly increased compared to the last year. Black became, although not a head and shoulders above, it was already good enough, but black, thank God, that he did not deteriorate. The color scheme has become better. This is a fact, and the processing of monitor has become better as well. If you now own an LG C1 TV, I would not take the C2. G2, that's what I would purchase, and to change C1 to C1, no, it's not worth it. But if you are just facing the question of buying and choosing between C1 or C2, definitely take the second one. Let's move on. The next model is called LG OLED B2. It is made in 55, 65, 77 diagonal, OLED matrix 120Hz 10-bit, glossy display coating, display resolution 4K, brightness HDR 673 candela, brightness SDR 337 candela. As you can see, the brightness is gradually dropping. Well, this is quite logical since the models are declining and we are going from expensive to cheaper ones. OLED backlight, Dolby Atmos sound, 2.2 system, 40 watt. B1 was also good last year. B2 is the same, I don't think it has changed much. Only the brightness has changed, it has become a little better in brightness. Otherwise, it seems to be unchanged in everything, so nothing new. But to say that B2 was very popular last year is impossible, rather not. But C2 is a sales leader in fact, just like G2. And the next TV to which we will move on is called LG OLED A2, manufactured in 48, 55, 65, 77 diagonals. OLED matrix, but already noticed not 120 but 60 Hz, 10-bit glossy display coating, 4K display resolution, HDR 550 candela brightness, brightness SDR 309 candela, OLED backlight, Dolby Atmos sound, 2.0 system. There is no subwoofer in this TV, 20 watts. That's just about this TV. I would respond very well because it is an ideal option for the bedroom. 60 Hz is for sure not 120, but if you turn on something non-dynamic and want to fall asleep while viewing, and that's basically it, then it would be a perfect option, especially for its cost. And if you need this, Please take a closer look because it's a very nice TV. It's just the same without a particularly huge figure in terms of brightness for the sleeping environment, so that your eyes, so to say, easily go in through the screen, and you don't need big brightness for your bedroom. Well, someone may need it, but in order for it to speak purely against the background somewhere, there would not be any terrible lights, as it is on some LED TVs. I emphasize only some, not all. It is crucial for me because personally this would annoy me. Yes, and the price is great, corresponding price. That's it. I won't praise it anymore because then you will say like, aha, what? What is that? What kind of advertising? But with B2, the story is such that it is between A2 and C2, and the difference is like $150 between C2, while it seems to be quite clear and obvious that you need to take C2 because somehow they disliked B2 and did not appreciate it highly. Move on. Our next TV is no longer OLED but QNET. It is called LG QNET 99. It is manufactured in 65, 75, 86 diagonal, IPS 120Hz 10-bit matrix, semi-glossy display coating, 8K resolution, mini LED backlight. I'll write everything about the number of zones, Dolby Atmos sound, 4.2 system, 60 watt, gaming opportunity and video formats, you will read it as well. So, what kind of an animal is this? What its nature? This LG QNET 99 is rational. To understand, this is an 8K TV, this is a flagship, this is a mini LED and it's kinda expensive. In principle, nothing new has appeared. It is the same model as it was last year. To say that there is some kind of breakthrough, also no. Okay, yes, mini LED. It seems to be as it is, but that's all. I won't say anything more because there is no innovation as such. Huge price, mini LED as such have not been brought to the ideal yet, and it is doubtful to acquire this for yourself. If it had cost less, it would have been possibly to try, but for its cost, no thanks, I will probably refrain. The main thing is that I show it to you, that it actually exists, and we will move to another one. Here we have the LG QNET 9695 model, manufactured in 6575 diagonal. Model QNET 96, it has a leg in the center, and model QNET 95 legs on the sides. This is the whole difference. In everything else, they are completely identical. This is also 8K, this is also IPS, this is 60 Hz. That is, QNET 99 is a flagship 120 Hz. QNET 9695 is absolutely the same but only 60 Hz. Yes, there is no VRR support, but this is a place to be. In principle, this is the right decision to create two such models. For example, one of them will be the flagship, expensive 120 Hz, and the second will be cheaper, also 8K, but 60 Hz. Why not? Here too, mini LED, there is also local dimming, the backlight is divided into zones, the sound is Dolby Atmos, the system is 2.2, the sound is worse, 40 watts. That is, no matter how much I look for the information, people who do not care about hertz, but there are such, are considering also this option, which is very reasonable. While the negative as such, I cannot designate this TV. Okay. The next model is our flagship 4K TV. That is, look, we went through OLED TVs, then we had two models of 8K TVs on mini LED backlight, and now we are moving on to the flagship 4K TV, also on mini LED backlight. It is called LG QNET 90, or it can also be called LG QNET 91. It is made in three versions: 65, 75 and 86 inches. See the difference. LG QNET 91 leg in the center, LG 90 legs on the sides. IPS matrix here 120Hz, 8-bit plus FRC, semi-glossy display coating, 4K display resolution, mini LED backlight. I will write the number of zones. Dolby Atmos sound, system 2.2, 40 watts. That is 20 watt speakers and 20 watts subwoofer. The next model, called QNET 87, 86 or 85, is made in 55, 65, 75 and 86 diagonals. See, QNET 87 and 86 have a leg in the center. They are different, and when I was making this video, I was shocked. Do you know what is the difference? Just color. Next, QNET 85, we have it with legs on the sides. Why make 3 models? Make just one, but still, most people hang TVs on the wall. Just why? What is the reason of those legs? It would be nice if they were at least good, and they are made of plastic garbage that just doesn't look right. Previously, when there were great legs, metal, which weighted heavier than the TV itself, I understand that this is not quite right and interesting idea at some point, but it was awesome. It looked and it was clear that it was expensive. This TV is not even cheap, but for some reason it is such an approach to details. Matrix IPS 120Hz, 8-bit plus FRC, semi-glossy display coating, 4K resolution, mini LED backlight, Dolby Atmos sound, system 2.2, 40 watts. Briefly, in order not to invent a marketing fairy tale for you about how wonderful and beautiful everything is here, I will tell you just one thing: how LG 87, 86 or even 85 differs from the model that we have already reviewed, LG QNET 90, 91. So, the number of backlight zones is different. That is, QNET 90 or 91, as you prefer, has more backlight zones, and QNET 87 has fewer local dimming zones. And one more thing is that in the 8th QNET series, specifically in this one, do not confuse with the smaller 2 levels of noise reduction instead of 4. That's all. By any large, if you do not have enough budget for 9, you can safely take the 8th series, but honestly, I do not advise neither the 9th nor the 8th. Another model is called QNET 82, 81 or 80. This is a completely different TV. Look, it is made in 50, 55, 65, 75 diagonals. QNET 82, QNET 81, there is a leg in the center, QNET 80, legs on the sides. The matrix here comes across and IPS and VA, 120Hz, 8-bit plus FRC, semi-glossy display coating, 4K resolution. And the most interesting thing is that LG provided this TV as a TV with mini LED backlight. Here you go, guys, you have a budget mini LED, it's great, and in general, just take it. But I have read a lot of negativity on the forums. In general, a lot of negativity is simple. And what do you think they did? Right, they wrote that this is a mini LED, but in fact, in this, it's HTV, there is a LED backlight. I will add it in parentheses so that LG is not offended. With local dimming, which naturally doesn't work. It's just that if people saw how local dimming with edge backlight had been working even like 5 years ago and how it works now, then these are 2 absolutely big differences. And it's impossible to watch. I will show you photos, more than one photo, of how local dimming works on this TV. Well, you decide for yourself, and I'll just keep silent on it. Dolby Digital Sound, that is, note from the QNET 82 model and below, there is no more support for Dolby Atmos, only Dolby Digital, system 2.0, 20 watt, 75 diagonal, system 2.2. There is a 20 watt subwoofer, while plus 2 speakers for 10 columns. Well, it's worse, I just don't even know how to figure out why it is like that. I will also write the gaming features, at least something that is present here, but I strongly advise you not to buy it. Honestly, it's better not to buy anything than this one. The next TV is no longer called QNET, but LG Nano 82, 81 or 80. It is manufactured in 50, 55, 65, 75 diagonals. The matrix here is IPS 60Hz 8-bit plus FRC. On Nano 82, 81, as you can understand already, with a lag in the center, and Nano 80 with legs on the sides. 50 diagonal VA matrix, semi-glossy display coating, 4K display resolution, edge LED backlight, again with everyone's favorite local dimming, Dolby Digital Sound System 2.0, 20 watt. 75 diagonal, there is a subwoofer 2x10 on a smaller TV. Why? Not needed, but in the 75s, here you go. True, it is really difficult to add a subwoofer. Here is the 8th Nano series. I sort of understand that it's bad, well, not quite bad there, and so the sound is like from a tin can. And do you at least something so that somehow this can gives at least some sort of basis? So, frankly speaking, I'm not happy with it. The next TV is called LG Nano 77 or 78. This or I like it so much, actually no. Why so many models have to be made? That make no sense. It is made in 43, 50, 55, 65 diagonals. 78 is the leg in the center, 77 is the leg on the sides. IPS matrix 60Hz 8-bit plus FRC. 50 diagonal VA matrix semi-glossy display. 4K display resolution, direct LED backlight. Lightning direct? What does it mean by its name? This direct LED is not the one with local dimming on expensive TVs. It's direct LED which has no local dimming at all and is even worse than edge LED at some point. But what is curious, due to the fact that not edge LED is installed here, but direct, the TV becomes even thicker. Dolby Digital Sound 2.0 system 20 watt. Gaming capabilities and video I will indicate if there is still something left, because it feels like a car driving and crumbling into spare parts. And here we are coming to more budget options, and that's it. It's just not a TV, it's purely even impossible to take as a monitor if you speak openly. LG Nano Next TV, which is called 76 or 75, it was logical to guess, right? Only there is already an abundance of diagonals from 43 to 86. Nano 76, what do you think? With what legs? That's right, with legs in the center, and at 75 we have legs on the sides. The IPS 60Hz matrix is 8 bits, not FRC, just 8 bits. 86 diagonal 120 Hz. We have 50 and 70 diagonals with a VIA matrix, semi-glossy display coating, 4K resolution, direct LED backlight, Dolby Digital Sound 2.0 system 20 watt. 75-86 diagonal is a subwoofer 2x10, again accumulation of small diagonals. Although it is difficult to call this 65 diagonal small, but for some reason a subwoofer is not needed there, as it turns out. The next segment we have is more budgetary. One might say even the most budgetary, and the first model is a UQ 9100, or it can also be called as 9000. It is made from 43 to 86 diagonals along the legs. You guessed, because everything is on the screen. IPS 60 Hz 8-bit 50, 60, 70 inches VA matrix semi-glossy display coating, 4K display resolution, HDR 305 candela brightness, SDR brightness is 256 candela, 740 to 1 is contrast. If I took this TV and moved back 5 years to the same budget LG TV, it would be pleasantly surprised what a fine fellow he is, a TV that is already 5 years old. Because these parameters are in 2022, I understand that this is a budget line, but the budget LG 5 years ago had larger, better indicators than now. This does not feel right. Direct LED backlight, Dolby Digital Sound, System 2.0, 20 watts, that's it. The next model is called LG UQ 8100, or just 8000, with legs. The same story, made from 43 to 86 diagonals, IPS matrix, 60 Hz, 8-bit, 86 diagonal, 120 Hz, and the matrix is not 8 bits but 8 bits plus FRC, 50, 60, 70 inches VA matrix, semi-glossy display finish, 4K display resolution, HDR, SDR brightness is the same. There is a slight change in a couple of candela, 1150 to 1 contrast ratio. Direct LED backlight, Dolby Digital Sound, 2.0 system, 20 watt. That is, these two are absolutely useless models. I don't understand at all why they made it. And the next model we call LG UQ 7600. This is a TV in one version, 43 inches wide, 60 Hz, 8-bit semi-glossy display, 4K resolution, HDR 301 candela of brightness, SDR 269 candela of brightness, direct LED backlight, Dolby Digital Sound, 2.0 system, 20 watt. Last year LG had the same model. It was also called 76, their 595 or 76, I don't remember specifically, just make a variation of one model. For example, the 9 series, add the number 10 at the end of the letters and make it white without creating a completely new model. And the LG UQ 7500 is manufactured from 43 to 75 diagonal, IPS matrix, 60 Hz, 8-bit, 50, 70 inches VA matrix, semi-glossy, 4K resolution, backlight brightness, sound is all the same as it was in the 7600 and 8000 models. Finally, we have reached the end. There is also a model called the UQ 7000, but it has already become pointless to add it. You see what a trend is, and this is already a mockery. Literally 5 models in a row that have the same characteristics, only with a different band of legs. Excuse me, but this is too much. Moreover, it is LG that suffers from such an invention, as many as 28 TV models, while Samsung quite rarely does this. It was more reasonable to make 2 budget ones. One is, for example, completely bad, the other is kinda better, 2 medium ones for the same type of work, and plus 5 top TVs, counting 2 mini LEDs and 3 OLEDs. That's it, just 10 is max. In general, there are 2 more such models. This year LG has designed TVs like Samsung, ones on tripods and so on, but not quite such an extensive range. But I will attach photos and you can see what it really is. The trick is that they are also OLED and they are so well designed. And the LG 42-inch monitor also appeared, which has a flexible screen. In general, there is a remote control, and by pressing this, you can make the monitor both flat and curved. I will attach whatever I find. That is why there is such news. As for the lags on the LG C series of OLEDs, there will be several options: 24, 25, 26. There will be also letter designations A, B, E, and so on. C, B, and D are models with a white back with a lighter shade on the stand. Model A is this model with a black back, and models D have a manual swivel stand. Forget everything I just told you. The most important here is the C2 model. If color is important to you, then yes, you should take into account the swivel stand, but you need to look at this. You need to look at what it is. In overall, I understood what it is, but you need to look at how it works, and in general, whether it is necessary for those people who, for example, do not need to turn the TV on, or it will be generally mounted on the wall. The most important thing is that the first digit, then it's the entire sales region, the color of the case, and now, as you can see, the format of the legs. And additionally, everything in the new version of VBS added personal profiles. You can create a personal profile for yourself, your child, your wife, and all family members to set your own favorite channels and content recommendations. Basically, a cool thing. It was missing, as for me, just like profiles on Netflix, because here I have my own viewing history, my favorites, and you have your own. So, we didn't manage to make a short video about LG, my apologies, but here, firstly, there are twice as many models as in Samsung, so I had no other choice, and secondly, the emotions, you can hide it from it. And next time we will have a review on Sony TVs, since there are not 28 models, but everything is much simpler and more interesting and more collected. Thus, expect a new review on Sony TVs soon. Thank you all for watching. Take care of yourself, your family, and friends. Have a lovely day, week, and evening, and stay tuned.